Hello everybody, welcome to the Mild Rumpus, coming at you live from the House of Flimsy, my dilapidated one-bedroom apartment that is filled with books and noise. Today, we're going to be talking about beautiful books. Mwah! Okay, it has been a hot minute since we've done a book tag, and I can't think of a better one to jump back into the ring with. This is the book design tag. It was created by Holly Dunn Designs. I was tagged by a really great channel. If you have not already subscribed, be sure to check them out, Book Buds, and they did a great job on this tag as well. So if you haven't watched that video, I'll link it down below. Be sure to check it out. The tag consists of 10 questions. You're supposed to pick one title or series per question, but there is really no way that I can narrow it down. I've got a lot of books I want to show you, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Number 1, a book you bought primarily or completely because of the cover. I would love to say that I never judge a book by its cover, or I'm not a superficial person and I don't buy books just because I think they look good. I do. In fact, here's one that I just picked up this past weekend. This is the Books A Million exclusive hardcover edition of Bret Easton Ellis's American Psycho. To be honest, I'm not really wild about the cover art, but I have just never seen it anywhere else, and it's pretty rare to find a hardcover copy of American Psycho. So I went ahead and I picked that one up. So this is the most recent purchase I bought solely because of its cover. And also, I have to shout out Nerdy Inc. They are this company that makes alternate book jackets for a variety of series like Lord of the Rings, Percy Jackson, the Sarah J. Maas books, That Boy Wizard books, all of those. Really, really cool designs. I'm not sponsored, but I think they're having a sale right now on a couple of them. They're selling like the series of dust jackets for $10. It's quite a steal. So if you are interested, jump on over there before they're all gone. One of my favorite books that I've read this year, I picked up solely because of its cover, and that's A.K. Blakemore's The Glutton, a fantastic book and a fantastic cover. In fact, I picked up some of my all-time favorite books solely because of its cover artwork. But you can't always be so lucky. Case in point. Don't be misled. It's a stinker. And sometimes fantastic books have mediocre covers. So you can't always judge a book by its cover, but you know, if you're lucky, later down the road, you might be able to upgrade. Perfect segue for question number 2. A book you want to buy that has a beautiful cover. How much time do you have? Because we could be here all day. There were so many beautiful books that I would love to pick up. Some that come immediately to mind are the Folio Society's release of Slouching Towards Bethlehem by Joan Didion. I think that's a really beautiful copy of the book, and I definitely need to add that to my collection. I also want to pick up the illustrated versions of the Hunger Games series. Those look really, really cool. And there's some that, you know, they just slip by you. You learn about them too late, or they're super expensive. I would love to get the Suntup edition of Swan Song. It was announced and it sold out within like maybe an hour. I learned about it too late. If anyone's out there that can make that happen, let me know. I really, really want a copy of Swan Song. It's my favorite book. And they also have a beautiful release of Robert McCammon's Boy's Life. Gorgeous cover, another fantastic book. I don't know. I think too much time has passed and that price has just gone. So I don't know if that one will ever land on my shelf, but who knows? Who knows? Question number 3, your favorite series design. I picked 3 series to talk about. The first one is probably one of the most beautiful books in my collection, and that is the Folio Society's release of Game of Thrones. I have this book and the second book in the series. I would like to eventually pick up the entire series, and I will right after I win the lotto. This next series is one of my favorites, and it might surprise you. I don't know. It's a fantasy series written for young adults. I discovered it during the pandemic when everything was shut down, and that is Holly Black's Folk of Air series. Now, right around the same time, I discovered fairyloot and, you know, the sprayed edges, fancy schmancy collectible editions. I am not a member of fairyloot, so I had to track down each one of these books individually, and it took some time, but eventually I got the entire series. I think they're just absolutely stunning. I'll show them to you. The first one is The Cruel Prince, and it features an acorn, and they're all naked hardbacks, and they have sprayed edges, and they're also signed by Holly Black in nameplates. I haven't attached mine, but that's the first one. The second one is The Wicked King. It features same kind of foiling, this time a sword, and I hope that it's picking up on all the details because it's really a very beautiful, beautiful book. And then the last one is The Queen of Nothing. And again, sprayed edges. And together they're so nice. And this was before like every single book was, you know, had a sprayed edge. This at the time seemed like really special and really unique. And so I had to have them. There was just no question. I thought they were beautiful. And like I said, they're some of my favorite books that I own. And the last book series I'm going to talk about is one that I just finished reading. It's currently a trilogy, but next month the fourth book is coming out, and that is the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. They just re-released the series with these paperbacks, so this could also qualify for another question coming up. But I love the design of this series. Each cover features really trippy cover art, and if you've read the books, you know that it kind of does very much fit the mood. And each one of them has this really cool holographic foiling. I hope it's picking it up. It just looks really, really neat in person. And again, each one features similar trippy artwork with the foiling, and features a critter on the cover that is kind of prominent in each book without giving anything away. Question number 4, a book with a beautiful dust jacket or something unexpected under the jacket. Well, you know, we're just gonna have to stick with the young adult fantasy novels here for a minute, and Holly Black is gonna continue to bask in the spotlight. This is How the King of Elfhelm Learned to Hate Stories. Again, it's the fairyloot edition. It's got a metallic sprayed edge, beautiful foiling on the cover, but if you remove the cover, there's also a surprise on the book itself. And not to be outdone, we have Leigh Bardugo's The King of Scars, which is a pretty stunning cover, but if you lift it up, gotta say the naked jacket and spine are just as impressive and look fantastic on a shelf. Now, if you want to talk beautiful book jackets, I think that Brom has some of the most stunning book jackets out there. Slewfoot is very popular and a very striking image, but I think that their cover of Lost Gods is probably one of my favorite ever. It's just a beautiful, beautiful image. And then sometimes the dust jackets themselves hold little secrets. For example, I have 2 books here that Todd Oldham was associated with. John Waters' Play Space, which is just a collection of photographs around John Waters' home and his work area. And then Amy Sedaris' book, I Like You, Hospitality Under the Influence. He did the photography for this book as well. Let's start with Amy. So if you take the dust jacket off and you open it up, you get a surprised pinup of Amy Sedaris covered in sprinkles. I'm sure you're gonna wanna put that up immediately in your kitchen or bedroom. And then if you take the cover of John Waters' Play Space, on one flap, you get an essay by Todd Oldham himself. And then if you open up the other side, you get an essay by the artist Cindy Sherman. But take the dust jacket off and it becomes an enormous poster. You get a stack of books belonging to John Waters. And then if you continue to unfold it, it becomes a big poster full of highlights from the book. I don't know how much I can get in the shot, but it's a large poster. But without question, the most beautiful book cover that I own is the Taschen release of The Complete Works of Bosch. I'm not gonna bring it on camera because first of all, the thing is enormous. It comes in a big box, and just like the John Waters book cover, if you take it off and unfold it, it turns into this enormous print of the Garden of Delights. It's really unbelievable. I'll try to find a video or a photo to insert here to give you an idea of it, but it's very impressive, and you're just gonna have to take my word on that one because I'm not giving myself a hernia. Now, this little book doesn't have a jacket, but it said it wanted to come to the party, so I'm gonna show it anyway. Because it also is a book that hits so many of the prompts. It's a naked hardback, but it's got a beautiful cover. It also has really nice end papers as well. This is a book that's released through McSweeney Press, A Child Again by Robert Coover. But the surprise is on the back of the book. It features this little pocket, and inside of the pocket are these big, oversized playing cards. And if you flip them over, it says, this is the Heart Suit by Robert Coover. The 13 heart cards may be shuffled and read in any order, with this card first and Joker last. So I thought that was a really unique idea, and I've never seen anything like it in any other book. So I wanted to show it to you. There you go. And speaking of naked hardbacks, a gorgeous book with no dust jacket. For this prompt, I really want to highlight the Barnes & Noble collectible editions. If you're looking to find some really nice editions that are beautiful and affordable, that's certainly a route to go. And these are some books that I think have some beautiful designs on them. In fact, the first one is one of my favorites in my collection. It's 100 Years of Solitude. And just look at that cover. This is the one that made me fall in love with them. I mean, it's just spectacular. It really is. It's a beautiful book. Another one is The Bell Jar and the Collected Poems by Sylvia Plath. I thought that was a nice addition. I think this one might be out of print now. And Barnes & Noble also releases smaller editions of the children books. They're these books right here. I always get questions about what they are. This is my favorite of them all. It features artwork by Jim Tierney, who has done a lot of the artwork that you've seen. I just love his work. He's probably my favorite illustrator when it comes to book covers. If his art is on it, most of the time I'm a sucker and I pick them up. But his edition of Pinocchio, I think, is just absolutely beautiful. Love that spine. It's just such a cool book. I am also wild about these Murakami releases from Vintage Classics. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about them, but so far they've released 6 titles. Each one features artwork on a naked hardcover. They have a little tiny slip cover on the bottom, but yeah, I just love these. In fact, this was my birthday gift to myself. Another great naked hardcover in my collection is this 50th anniversary edition of Stephen King's Carrie. This one features an intro by Margaret Atwood, and the cover is just beautiful. I think that they are planning to do more of these releases in the future, so keep an eye out. Question number 6, a beautiful paperback. Okay, my battery's gonna die, so I'm gonna speed through this. John Wyndham, the UK Penguin editions, they're all stunning, and they're also great books. If you haven't read John Wyndham's work, you're gonna like them. Also, of course, Penguin Deluxe puts out beautiful, beautiful paperbacks of classics. I also like the vintage releases of Virginia Woolf. I think they're really beautiful with these watercolor artworks. I also loved the old school version of the McNally Jackson edition books. Their new cover designs are great as well, but this was just really unique. It had a wraparound, I don't know what you call this. I mean, I know it's a book jacket, but it was really unique, and I love them. So those are my favorite paperbacks. Question number 7, a nonfiction book with a lovely cover. I don't own a copy of this book, so you can add this to question number 2 about books I want to buy with beautiful covers. But I think that the book cover for Every Living Thing is just extraordinary. I can't wait to get my hands on a copy and read it soon. I also really love the design of the books that are in the Library of Esoterica. It's a book series released by Taschen. Each one features a really beautiful cover. There's foiling on the cover and spine, and each volume is just filled with gorgeous illustrations. Question number 8, a book with great end papers. You got to give credit where credit is due. I think that Sarah J. Maas has beautiful end papers in all of her Crescent City series books. Right now I'm in the process of reading the Earthsea series by Ursula K. Le Guin, and this edition has absolutely beautiful illustrated end papers. I mean, get a load of that. Question number 9, a book that looks just as good spine out as it does face out. Tell me that's not a great looking spine. The Book of Form and Emptiness, and also really cool sprayed edges. And then another book I picked up because of its spine was Peyton Place. I saw it on the bookshelf of Ink and Paper blog, and the typography, it grabbed my attention, and I was like, wonder what that book's about. I also really love it when there's a series of books whose spines line up to make a single image, like this Mr. Mercedes series here by Stephen King. I have a few more books in my collection that do that. A collection of the plays of Samuel Beckett, the Cassandra Clare series. I just think that looks really, really cool on a shelf. I'm also really thrilled to own a complete set of the Childcraft Encyclopedia series. I first saw them on Watch What Happens Live. They're featured pretty prominently on the bookshelves in the clubhouse, and it took me a long time to find out what they were. One day I just happened to stumble on a video of Andy Cohen giving a club of the tour house, and he said they were books from his own childhood. He said what they were, and I was able to find a cheap set on eBay. So there you go. And last but not least, we need to tag some people. All right, I'm gonna tag the usual suspects. You know who you are. A Web of Stories, Suey's Book Banter, Alex Unabridged, MJ. I want to tag some folks that I haven't tagged before. Let's see, I wrote them down. Hardy's Books, who has an incredible collection. I just saw a tour they did of their bookshelves. If you have not watched that, do yourself a favor. If you're a fan of fantasy and sci-fi, they have a collection to die for. So I'm sure they have some books to share out. Talented Reads, Isabella Beckett Smith, the Jeff Word, and I don't know if these two do book tags, but I would love to see Books Are Sick do this, and It's Terrific. I'd really love to see It's Terrific do this because he has all of the collectible books you could ever want to own. I'm insanely jealous, and he is a Robert McCammon fan like I am. So I bet he's gonna have every edition of that Swan Song book. Super jealous. And of course, if you are still watching and you feel so inclined, tag You Are It. All right, thank you for watching. Thank you, Battery, for hanging in there. And as always, be sure to feed that algorithm. Feed that algorithm. Thank you, and happy reading. Looking forward to seeing your beautiful books. Bye.